Come here. Hey guys. Welcome to this weekend with Gino and Toddy. Stinners! Hey, calm down, calm down. I'm just bugging your tots. As you can see, we're both kind of excited for wrestlepalooza. What's going on here, mate? Just considering. I'm just looking at the timer on my recording here. It's stuck on. Okay, there we go. We're going to be talking about my predictions about wrestlepalooza and AEW's All Out, I believe it is, in Toronto. Or is it All In? I can't remember. Oh, give me one sec. Let me look that one up quickly. I think it's all out though. But I have WrestlePalooza pulled up, and give me one second as I'm babbling. Very, very stacked cards for WrestlePalooza. Officially announced that John Cena and Brock Lesnar will be kicking off the WrestlePalooza show. I don't know if you guys saw. I was waiting till today to do my predictions because I want to see what happened with SmackDown. I don't know if you guys saw what happened, but I think we may be getting Corey Graves return to the ring soon. Um, It's probably all over social media now, and if it isn't, he just ate two F5s from Brock Lesnar. And those of you that don't know, Corey Graves is actually medically disqualified from ever wrestling again due to concussions for almost like 10 years ish. He's been a fantastic commentator doing the AAA stuff, doing NXT. Then he did a little bit of SmackDown and Raw, and then he got back down to NXT. So people like Corey got demoted. No, Corey didn't get demoted. Corey's been carrying commentating teams for a while. Wade Barrett is banished for saying kind of like a Jim Kimmel comment, but about Nikki Bella. Let me just look this up here. But yeah, Corey Graves just ate two F5s. It's all out Toronto. And God, probably 15 matches. 13. Why didn't AEW do so many fucking matches? Sorry. Um, since AEW is going to be the longer show, and it might be a little bit easier to predict, we are going to go with AEW first. I have it right here on my phone. The opening match of the evening for All Out, and I swear to God, this show probably starts at 10 a.m., which I believe if they said it, it'll probably go to about 4 a.m. in the afternoon. AEW likes to do their long pay-per-views. Anybody that's a fan of AEW knows that. It's kind of painful to be a wrestling fan when their shows go for 8 hours, but it is what it is, I guess. Um, that rant being said, our opening match of the whole damn thing is a 8-woman tornado tailgate party match. And I know a lot of people are a fan of these stupid party match brawls. We got Harley Cameron, Mina Shirakawa, Queen Eminata, huge fan of Queen Eminata. I think she should be the first ever pure women's wrestling champion for ROH. Willow Nightingale versus Megan Babe, Penelope Ford, and the Triangle of Madnesses, Julia Hart and Sky Blue. If the bad people lose, Sky Blue or Julia Hart are eating the pin. I don't understand why AEW soured on Julia Hart so quickly, but she's not allowed to win matches. And Sky Blue, when was the last time she won a match? You just hear it losing repeatedly to the likes of Queen Aminata and Willow Nightingale and all these girls. She just gets her ass. She does good at kicking ass, but she's also good at getting her ass kicked. Heels shouldn't get their ass kicked as easy as she does. I don't think, in my opinion. And heels should do some dirty things to win matches. Sky Blue really doesn't. I can't remember last time Sky Blue and Julia Hart as a team have won a match. I know they want to keep Megan Bain as a threat to keep her undefeated, so either Sky Blue, Julia Hart, or Pineapple Ford, Penelope Ford, sorry, is going to eat the pin for her team. If the losing team loses, I mean the face team loses, I think the only person that can eat the pin on the losing team if they lose is going to be Harley. The face team that loses Harley Cameron. But Harley Cameron is all over her. Eating a pin will not hurt her. So I think my prediction for this match, even though it's just a pre-show match, is going to be the Triangle Madness and Megan Bain and Penelope Ford winning. I think they may even have Julia Hart submit Harley Cameron. That's my prediction. I could be completely wrong. Following that, we have the newly heel turned Daniel Garcia taking on Katsuyori Shibata of the Ops. This is going to be an absolutely fantastic match. I don't understand why it's in a pre-show and there's absolutely no build to it. Some of these matches are randomly on show. Um, I can't see Daniel Garcia losing. He's just turned heel. He's got Marina Shafir and Wheeler Yuta by his side right now, and I think this might be the start of a good night for the Death Riders. I think we even surprise member of the Death Riders by the end of tomorrow afternoon, as John Moxley is going to be taking on the guy with the Death Wish, Darby Allin. But we'll get to that when we get to that. But I think this will be an absolutely fantastic match, maybe the match of the entire weekend, and it's on a pre-show. Like I said, I can't see Daniel Garcia losing his only second match as a heel. Absolutely fantastic matchup. Probably this is a match we were going to sleep on, but you must find a way to watch it. Following that, we got the rest of the Ops, Samoa Joe and Powerhouse Hobbs versus the Workhorseman Anthony Drake and Anthony Henry JD Drake. Easiest prediction in the entire card. The Ops are going to kick their ass. It's going to be a good match, but they're going to probably walk over them after a while. The Workhorsemen are fantastic, but they're not major players in AEW, whereas the Ops kind of are. And they're part of the Trios champions. One of them is going to lose, two of them are going to win. And here we go. This is how Wikipedia has it set up. At least I don't know if they're going to have them kick off the show. It would be fantastic if they did, because it's going to be their last ever match in Ontario and probably in Canada. That's kind of if you're a fan of wrestling and a fan and Canadian like I am, also kind of a tribute to Bray Wyatt here. He used to say, "I have the whole world in his hands. I have the whole world on me." Um, we lost Bray 2 years ago last month. For those of you who don't remember, um, but like I said, this is probably going to be their last ever match in Canada, and they're going against the way that Wikipedia has it. This is going to be the main match, the first match of the entire main card. Adam Copeland and Christian Cage, or as Christian Cage is calling him, Cage and Copeland, um, versus FTR. And I don't know if you guys saw it or not, but Dax has a severely broken, smashed in nose due to what happened on Dynamite. This might be the tag team match of the year. I don't think FTR is capable of having a bad match, and I don't think I've ever seen an Edge or Christian bad match. For being goddamn near 60, both of these guys they can still go in the ring, and they're still absolutely fantastic wrestlers. Um, Clearly this one's going to be predictable. They're not going to have FTR win. This is Edge and Christian's last ever match, or Cope and Cage's last match ever in Canada, probably, or at least in Ontario. Um, Edge won his last ever match in Toronto and won WWE against Sheamus. This is his last match in Ontario for AEW. I was lucky enough to see his last ever match in Vancouver for AEW almost a year and a half ago with my buddy JP. Um, I'm just rambling here, but like I said, I don't see Christian Cage and Adam Copeland winning losing this match. I can see maybe a little bit of tease because Cage is kind of playing a little heel still. He may like pretend to not help out Copeland for points, and they may help him. And then Dax and Cash are definitely going to dominate parts of this match, mostly probably against Adam Copeland because Copeland's a much better babyface. Like I said, that being said, this is going to be a fantastic tag team match. I think it's going to be Spirit and Unprettier, and then we're going to have Copeland pin Dax. Then we have the Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley, Michelle Benjamin, and quite possibly MVP's very last match in wrestling. Versus Ricochet's new group of the Gates of Agony and Ricochet himself. They don't have a name, so we're just gonna call them the Gates of Ricochet, the Gates of Rick, whatever you want to call it, or Rick of Gates. Um, and Hurt Syndicate just recently lost the tag team titles due to these three, and probably one of the weirdest swerve angles you'll ever see because the people live had no idea what was going on. Um, it's an interesting match. I don't know which way AEW wants to go. The Hurt Syndicate is over as fuck. Ricochet's group gets no reaction whatsoever. And Ricochet is a very good, dirty little cheating heel. Guys, it's been a long week. I interesting. This is a very weird one for me to pick. I don't know why, but it is. Um, You can give Ricochet's group momentum by having them win this match, but you could also keep the Hurt Business's momentum going, and MVP's last ever match a win. I'm assuming this is his last ever match. He doesn't wrestle very much anymore these days. His knees are done. That Kane is not for show. He actually is having difficulties walking. And he's a far better mouthpiece than he ever was wrestler, to be honest. Talia Leone, sorry, Tunga Leon, and Bishop Connor, awesome, phenomenal talents for how big they are. Bobby Lashley's a freak of nature. I'm a diehard Shelton Benjamin fan, have been since the late 90s, early 2000s in WWE. The dude is absolutely fucking fantastic and a freak of nature. And side note, is one of Brock Lesnar's best friends, and Brock Lesnar doesn't like people. So what's that tell you? Um, this one's hard to call. I'm gonna say the Hurt Syndicate wins. This one's easy. Mercedes Moné's gonna beat Rio. Rio is still working on some ring rest. She's getting a TBS title match. I believe the Renegade Twins are gonna be joining Mercedes Moné and being part of her little group here. It's not the right time for Mercedes Moné. Is not the right person for Mercedes Moné to drop the belt to. There's I don't know who is going to be. Maybe if Hikaru Shida returns, or maybe Willow when Willow's ready, and done with this forever feud with Knight with Chris Statlander. But who knows? Following that, we're gonna have Darby Allin and John Moxley in a coffin match. Darby Allin has a death wish. I'm on 1,000% positive of that. I make a joke with my buddy JP about this all the time, and Mike. Darby Allin's got a problem wrong in his head. I don't know what it is, but this dude just I don't like enjoying watching his matches. I think he wants to actually die on TV and he wants one of these guys to kill him. There's a video, the package it showed with him planting the AW flag on the mountain he climbed. I'm drawing a blank right now. I can't remember what mountain it was. Cyprus? Yeah, no, not Cyprus. Fuck, I can't remember mountain. I'm drawing a blank. I don't care. Um, this is probably the hardest match in the entire weekend to pick because I actually have no idea who's going to win this. Maybe Snowman, aka Tony Khan, already has decided. John Moxley's on a roll since he lost the title. This is Darby Allin's first match back. Hmm. John Moxley has a man advantage, and Darby Allin made Bryan Danielson promise he was not going to get involved. This match is going to be violent enough for the weak of heart. You've seen what John Moxley did to Darby Allin's ear. Sorry, this is Darby Allin's second match back, his first singles match. Also, where the fuck has Claudio Castagnoli been for the last 3 weeks? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is the leader of the War Dogs going to come back and help John Moxley? Are the Bucks going to help John Moxley? Is there going to be a surprise member of the Death Riders to help John Moxley in this match, or is Darby Allin getting a surprise assist? Where is Orange Cassidy? They're fighting alongside each other, and he just randomly disappeared from TV after they made him drink some weird thing on TV. Um, I don't know. If I'm going with my gut, John Moxley's lost a lot recently. Darby Allin can eat losses and still be popular. John Moxley needs to bury this Darby Allin problem to still have a point in AEW. But if John Moxley gets buried, then what's that do for his character? And the fact he's supposed to be unhinged and getting rid of these not supposed serious wrestlers, right? So for that reason and that reason alone, I'm gonna go John Moxley. Then we get Mark Briscoe versus MJF in a tables tricks match. Or tax. Why did I say tricks? So apparently tables with tax on them. If you want MJF to be a serious contender to the title, and I love Mark Briscoe, he has to beat Mark Briscoe. MJF. Timeless Tony Storm versus Jimmy Hayter versus Chris Statlander versus Tekla. I've had a weird feeling for the last couple of days, and you guys might be shocked with who I say is going to win this. But Chris Statlander also made a point. Why does Jamie Hayter get invited into a match when she has not been seen on TV since Tekla attacked her 5-ish months ago? And she only was on TV for like a month prior to that. But yet people like herself and Tekla have to work half a year to get a title shot. I think it might be. Sorry guys, I have an issue like here. It might be time for title changes because it's not the Tony Storm characters getting stale, but her being champion is becoming stale. If you get my drift. Um, and this is where my weird theory comes in because I think it may be a good night for the Triangle of Madness. Because I think Julia Hart may get the win in the very first show of the match of the night, and I think Tekla may become the women's world champion on the same card. Either that or Marina Shafir is going to help Statlander, and Statlander is going to become champion. It's kind of plant more of those seeds of Statlander becoming part of the Death Riders because Harley Cameron will come out to try and celebrate, and Statlander will be confused with what she's supposed to do, and that's when Willow Nightingale will come out and they kind of plant seeds, and this is what's going to happen, and this may well be what's going to happen, but I think eventually you're going to get this match. It's been like 16 million years in the works between Willow Nightingale and Marina Shafir, which thank God they're not doing on a pay-per-view. We made turn a tag team where you get Statlander and Marina Shafir, or I should say world champion Statlander, because I think that's my other theory, and Marina Shafir versus Willow Nightingale and Harley Cameron. And then when those women's tag team titles are announced, the Death Riders will be the first ones to have the women's tag team titles. Because I believe Willow Nightingale and Harley Cameron beat them in the first match, and then I'll have the rematch after Chris Statlander dropped the belt, and Marina Shafir and Chris Statlander will be the first ever women's tag team champions. That's my theory. I could be completely wrong, but that's what I'm thinking is going to happen. Then we get Kazuchika Okada versus Kinosuke Takeshita versus Masco Dorado for the AEW Unified Championship. I believe Kinosuke Takeshita is going to turn face on this match at some point. Leading Don Callis family start attacking Okada. At first, they're going to work together to get Masco Dorado. I believe there's going to be a point where he has Dorado pinned, Okada's going to stop it, and Takeshita and him are going to brawl, go at it, and that's going to eventually lead to Takeshita turning face. And he may eventually. Solely because he's going to the G1 finals, Takeshita's not going to win this. But I think he may somehow get screwed by Don Callis in this match, and he may be the guy that eats the pin, only to come back and get revenge on Okada and win the belt eventually. That's my theory. So I think Okada's going to pin Takeshita. They're going to have a rematch, and Takeshita's going to beat Okada for the belt. Dorado will have nothing to do with the finish. And following that, we're going to have Big Bill and Eddie Kingston, apparently, because Eddie Kingston's going to be in the building. Eddie Kingston's going to get a huge fucking pop. I think it's going to be a quick match. I think he's going to destroy Big Bill with a huge momentum, and he's going to cry because Eddie Kingston's a crier. Then we got Brodito, which is Brody King and Bandito, who is the ROH champion and the AEW Tag Team champion, versus the Young Bucks, versus Jet Speed, versus Henchicero and Josh Alexander in a tag team match for the tag team championships in a ladder match, 4-way. This match is going to be absolutely insane. The Bucks are going to do some crazy ass shit. That's the best way I'm going to put it. That's my personal theory. I don't think you take the belts off of Brodito yet. The Bucks are doing probably some of the best work in AEW right now, as far as I'm concerned. Jet Speed has been awesome, but you're not good enough to be taking champions to carry that division. I don't think Mike Bailey has the charisma to actually be out there every week and do promos and wrestle at the same time. Hunter and Josh Alexander are just there to get beat down and beat bases and do some crazy heel stuff. They're not getting those titles. AEW does not value Josh Alexander in that amount. You could tell. I think personally, Josh Alexander would have been better going to WWE. That's my personal opinion. Maybe reuniting the North with his buddy Ethan Page. So yeah, Brodito's going to win in an absolutely crazy match. And then we have the main event where the Don Callis family is barred if they do interfere. The protostar Kyle Fletcher is automatically disqualified, loses his belt, loses the chance of ever getting title shot again. He loses his AEW championship, so AEW TNT championship is automatically disqualified and loses the AEW TNT Championship if the Don Callis family interferes. I think this is a very, very good match. It's kind of retro reverse as 6 years ago. It was a very young Hangman Adam Page going against the veteran, the savvy veteran, but he was heel at that time. Chris Jericho, this is roles reversed, as Kyle Fletcher is the challenger being a heel, and Adam Page is the champion face, whereas Jericho was the heel champion, and Page was the challenger face. Good guy, for those of you who don't know. I like Kyle Fletcher. I think Kyle Fletcher is going to be a massive, massive, massive star, but he is not ready yet. It's going to be a fantastic match, maybe the one of the best matches of the weekend. But I still think, like I said, the second match in the entire 15 match card is going to be the best match of the weekend. Um, Interesting match. I think it maybe teases the drunk Alice and his family coming out like to the ring apron, ring entrance, or the entranceway getting chased away by security, knowing that they can't get as far as they can because they will cost their man his belt and he'll automatically lose the match. I think there'll be some lot of crazy 1-2 near falls. There may be somebody from not from the Don Callis family who tries to get involved who eventually will become part of the Don Callis family. That might be a tease for another near fall. But Page is not losing this belt right now. There may even be a point where you guys can see Toddy behind me. She doesn't know what to think either. I even think MJF may come out at some point and Briscoe might stop him. But that being said, Hangman Adam Page is going to defend his belt for the second time, and we're gonna go to WrestlePalooza now. All right, guys. We have 3 months after this left of John Cena. He is done in December. This is the last ever time we're going to see John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. Like I said, they are kicking off the show. I think it's going to be a very good, very physical, very awesome match. These guys never have bad matches with each other. I think they're incapable of it. Um, I don't know which way WWE wants to go because I don't know if Brock's going to be full time or if this is it for Brock after this. But like I said, there might be a little foreshadowing because he got a few shots in on Corey Graves, who sold the F5 better than I've seen most people ever sell an F5. So that may put him off TV for a little bit. Will we see a Brock Lesnar Corey Graves match in the future? I don't know. Um, Brock Lesnar's last words with John Cena this D-Day, and I'm coming for blood. I don't think John Cena is going to lose his last ever match to Brock Lesnar. It will still due to the fact that the way they were hyping this up. Like, I don't know if John Cena can control this beast, this man mountain, whatever you want to call him. I personally think John Cena is winning this match. There's no way he's not losing this. The very first ever pay-per-view the WWE's hyped the fuck out of on their new promotion to a guy who a lot of people think is a scumbag, even though he's done nothing wrong and his name's only mentioned in a lawsuit, but he's actually done nothing. Therefore, I think that's the only reason John Cena wins. Following that, I think we may get the Braun and Bronson, Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker versus the Usos. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to Raw lately, but Jimmy, or for main event, Jay's slowly turning into the new tribal chief. If you guys remember, the seeds were kind of planted when Roman said it's time you start looking out for only yourself and nobody else, not even family. What have the Usos always done? They've always looked out for each other. And I don't remember if you guys remember seeing this, but Jimmy last week told Jay that he is slowly becoming Roman, and the way he's acting is kind of acting like Roman. And I think we might be getting OTC 2, because OTC 1 is Roman, eventually leading to Jay versus Roman at some point, again, for the 5th millionth time. I think one of them may screw the other one, and I think the Vision needs this win more than the Usos do. So at least so they become sort of a threat to those tag team titles and eventually take them for the Judgment Day when the Judgment Day implodes and Dom costs Balor and McDonough their titles. I don't have full random theories today, right? I think Jay's gonna turn on Jimmy because Jimmy has turned on Jay in the past, and Jay's gonna turn heel because WWE's got to catch this lightning in a bottle again and turn Jay heel. Following that, we're gonna have, I believe, Io Sky and Stephanie Vacquier for the women's championship, vacant women's championship, because Big Jim Netflix and chilled with Naomi and got her pregnant. I think this is going to be the match of the weekend, maybe the match of the year. These are absolutely fantastic wrestlers. Fuck the women's part. These are two of the best wrestlers I've seen in, God, almost 15 years. Their storytelling ability, their facial expressions, their move set, their ability to have this instant chemistry with each other in the ring. I think Io Sky might be the best wrestler on the planet, in my personal opinion. I don't think there's anyone in the world better than her at this very moment, or and there hasn't been for a very long time. I've been watching her since Japan, and I thought she was incredible back then. I never thought I'd see her in WWE. I wanted to keep her a secret. I wanted her to be mine because I didn't want a lot of people to know who she was or the fact that she'd be here. Maybe I was naive. Stephanie Vacquier surprised me. I never heard of her until AEW. She is absolutely fucking incredible. But can I, somebody explain to me what the hell happened to Julia? They hyped the shit out of her, brought her into NXT, and then she just randomly went up to AE to WWE. No draft, no nothing. Same with Roxanne Perez, all those people like they used to do back in the day. These are people that deserve the flowers and should have been sent up with a draft and had the NXT roster celebrate with them, but that did not happen. Cora Jade should have been there too, so I guess. I rambling because I don't know who's gonna win this match. I could see Asuka. Sorry, Kana. Sorry, Asuka, yes. And Kyrie coming down trying to help, but also cost EO the match, getting her involved in a feud with these three now, or even screwing Stephanie, making a feud to Stephanie, and maybe turning EO maybe it's being the whole charade the whole time, and the three of them reuniting as Kabuki Warriors and going after everything and taking everything. I don't know which way WWE wants to play it, but I know they also want to rocket ship Stephanie. What better way than making her champion and having her defend a belt a lot, becoming that plucky white meat babyface champion for women, right? Oh, I'm gonna say Stephanie McCare wins. Following that, we're gonna talk about the match everyone's been talking about. CM Punk, sorry, just kidding. Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre for the Undisputed Championship. I mean, this is gonna be a fantastic match. I think it might be the time to put the title on Drew. Drew had a fantastic 2024, was not rewarded for it. Why not reward him in 2025? I don't know what WWE is. I think WWE wants Randy Orton to be the guy to screw Cody and take the belt off of Cody. I wouldn't be surprised if Drew wins, has a little run, and then Cody gets the belt back, and then Randy comes out to fake celebrate with Cody and takes the belt from Cody. I won't be surprised if Randy pretends to celebrate with Cody tomorrow and attacks Cody and takes the belt. Oof. I'm torn on this one. I like both these guys. But Cody just recently got the belt back. I don't think he's defended it yet. Cody Rhodes is going to win. And then we get the most obvious match win of the entire weekend. Maybe it's a little too obvious. But AJ Lee sold the fuck out of the Nintendo Slam on Monday. If you guys have not seen that, go see that. This is AJ Lee's first match in 10 years. Does ring rust exist? It surely does. How much of it does AJ Lee have? I don't know. We'll find out together if that's the rest of the world in Indianapolis. I think she's gonna get her ass kicked for a lot of it. You have CM Punk panicking on the ring, trying to get in as Becky's mocking him and Seth is laughing on the ring apron. This is intergender. He will get the hot tag. He will beat the fuck out of Seth Rollins for a little bit. Um, but I think AJ Lee is going to be the person that pins Becky Lynch, and she's going to be the person that takes the Intercontinental title off of Becky Lynch. There was supposed to be one other match on this card, but thank God there isn't because they're not AEW for one thing. We have bajillion matches on their pay per views. It was supposed to be Tiffany Stratton versus Nia Jax versus Jade Cargill. They even printed shirts for it and everything, but Tiffany, I believe, is still not medically cleared, so they can do that next week for the Women's Championship. Can somebody please explain to me why Nia Jax keeps getting title shot after title shot after title shot after title shot, as well as Jade Cargill? Maybe put somebody else in that damn picture. Get some other women's wrestlers in SmackDown. Maybe take the U.S. title off of Julia and have her go after Tiffy. Where the fuck is Selena Vega? Why is Chelsea Green just doing nothing? Where's Piper Niven? That being said, like I told you guys, AJ Lee is going to pin Becky Lynch, and she's going to take the Intercontinental title from Becky Lynch. All right, guys. So those are my predictions for both All Out or All In Toronto and the first ever WrestlePalooza. No, I was right. It's All Out Toronto 2025 and WrestlePalooza. If you have any differences or any predictions you want to make for your own, leave the comments below. Other than that, we'll talk to you guys following both shows. And I hope you guys enjoy yourselves a good wrestling weekend. Peace.